Welcome back. Let's turn to the other big story of our times, the COVID surge. Remember, in less than 70 days, India has vaccinated more than 50 million people in the country. But today, India decided that there will be at least a temporary ban on the export of Covishield. This amidst concerns that there is a shortage of vaccines, but more importantly, also vaccine wastage. Do we need more vaccine options? What is wrong or right with our vaccine policy? Take a look at this report from Milan Sharma.
India has temporarily halted all major exports of Covishield manufactured by the Serum Institute of India, according to sources. Top sources in the government say there is no ban on export of vaccines, but some supply constraints due to successful domestic offtake. India has exported roughly 6 crore doses of vaccines till March 25. Of these, over 85 lakh doses were grants. More than 3.41 crore doses were exported on a commercial basis. India has sent vaccines to 76 countries, including Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Brazil, and Morocco. The last vaccine dispatch was sent to Bolivia on 18th March 2021. The rise in domestic demand of vaccines can be attributed to the launch of Phase 3. As the demand increases, India would need new vaccines with jabs from April 1. Russia's Sputnik V is awaiting approvals. India-made Zydus Cadila Zycov-D has completed its Phase 3 trials in India, with Dr. Reddy's results still awaited.
See, there is no delay per se in the approvals of any of those, because there is a standard regulatory process and the regulators actually take a very informed call on the vaccine, whether it is safe or not, and regulator invariably takes help of subject expert panel. Now that process has been fairly robust and we cannot actually find a fault that why third vaccine has not come. Zydus Cadila you mentioned, Zydus Cadila is already undergoing trial and Sputnik trials also have been done and we are also waiting very anxiously.
Some experts say India should speed up approvals for new vaccines.
I think the time is right for 3 other vaccines whose efficacy has already been established, that have been approved in other countries, that have partnerships with Indian companies to be approved for emergency use in India. You know, let everyone remember that Covaxin was approved without any efficacy data. Covishield was approved without any bridging trials. Right. So why are we waiting and not approving more vaccines when it's needed?
India is also accounting for 10% of vaccine doses being wasted on an average. States like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh have been asked to minimize vaccine wastage.
Amid a temporary halt on export, is it time to now include more vaccines in India's inventory to fight against COVID-19? With Sputnik V waiting for an emergency use authorization, the subject expert committee will convene once again this week to deliberate on another vaccine for India. With Ajay Thakur, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
So how can we speed up the vaccine drive? More importantly, should more age groups now be covered? Should India have more vaccine options beyond Covaxin and Covishield like several other parts of the world now have? Joining me now is Dr. Devi Shetty, Chairman Narayan Hrudayalai, and one of the country's top doctors. Dr. N.K. Arora also joins me from the National COVID Task Force. I appreciate both of you joining us. Dr. Shetty, to you first, because I saw an article you wrote earlier this week where you believe, A, there should be mass vaccination that should include all those above the age of 20. Does that also include more vaccine options? The basket of vaccines available should be many more?
Certainly. I don't think a country of 1.3 billion population, the entire vaccine production can be managed by 1 or 2 entities. We definitely need a lot more entities. But situation right now is slightly different. When we started vaccinating 60 plus, we were given 2,000 vaccines to be given on a daily basis. We were hardly getting 600, 700 people. Mm-hmm. So it is not that, of course, people are talking about the vaccine shortage. Right now, for the category what it is released, there aren't that many takers. So now that government has allowed over 45, I'm sure the uptake will increase. And soon they should reduce the number even to more than 20 years old, because that's a real working class and they are the super spreaders. And they should be vaccinated at the earliest. By allowing 60 plus, we reduce the mortality, no doubt, but we won't be able to contain the spread. 60 plus age group people really do not infect others because they confine themselves to a relatively house or their own area. They don't go out at night and party and
So
go out
so
and
you're
work.
saying, doctor, you're saying those above the age of 20 should all sooner or as soon as possible be allowed to be vaccinated while also increasing the vaccine options. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's important. Dr. N.K. Arora, how do you respond to that? That vaccine nationalism is all very well, but surely we need to go beyond Covaxin and Covishield. There are other vaccines out there with high efficacy rates. Should we not be speeding up the process of granting permissions? I think your volume is on mute, sir. We'll try and get back to you in a moment. Can you hear me now? Unfortunately, we seem to be having you on mute, sir. We'll try and get back your audio. But Dr. Shetty, as you look at the vaccination drive itself, you said a lot of people over 60 were worried about having the vaccine. Do you really believe that vaccination is the solution to this COVID surge? Is that the solution, just intensifying the vaccination drive?
That is the primary solution. We have proven without doubt that social distancing and lockdown, wearing mask doesn't work in our country. You have seen it. 99%, one survey conducted recently showed 99% of the people are aware of the mask, the benefits of mask, but only 44% of the people wear a mask and significant number of them wear the mask around the neck. And how is it possible to do the social distancing in a country where 1 square kilometer, there are 2 lakh people living there? The living conditions of most people will not allow us to do the social day. We have natural limitations. So the only one sure shot solution we have is the vaccination. Vaccination may not prevent COVID, but at least it will prevent serious illness. And that is exactly what is required for our country. And it is so easy to deploy because we are the manufacturers of the vaccine and we have one of the largest number of nurses and doctors to deploy it. So this is something which is the easiest option available for a country like ours. Of course, country like New Zealand, Australia, they can do many other things.
So, you're saying something important. You're saying don't focus so much on social distancing or lockdowns, for example. Put your entire focus now on increasing the vaccination drive and intensifying it, allowing more vaccine options so that you are in a position, let's say by the end of the year, to have vaccinated a substantial proportion of your population.
Radeep, we are in a very serious situation. In the next 20 days, next 2 weeks, Bangalore will hit the peak with the institutional positivity of 24 to 25%. That is exactly how it was 1 year ago when Bangalore hit the peak. And next 2 months, we will remain there at 24%. At that time, in our hospital alone, we had about 400 COVID patients. And after this peak period lasting for 2 months, we will have another 2 months of period when the COVID number will gradually come down. We are talking about fighting with this COVID for the next 4.5 months. It is not I'm not an astrologer. This is exactly what happened last year. Nothing else has changed other than the fact that we are a lot better prepared thanks to the government's intervention to fight the virus. So there is no question of wishing it away. So one of the strongest, lockdown is not an option, Rajiv. Lockdown doesn't help medically. It may make everyone feel that they are doing something, but medically speaking, it will not bring down the number. The virus is in the community. Now locking down will only help them to spread it around the community.
I get your point. You're saying vaccination is the only solution. Let me see if Dr. N.K. Arora from the National COVID Task Force is there. I'm sorry, our audio was lost. We are running out of time. Dr. Arora, I want to understand from you, does the government now recognize that you're going to have to increase the vaccine options and speeden up this process, sir?
See, first of all, I will pick up, I was trying to say where Dr. Devi Shetty mentioned.
Yes.
We already have about 40,000 immunization centers, and daily capacity is about 8 million. But unfortunately, we are still hovering around 3 million. So a huge capacity is underutilized or unused. And
no, so then why not, sir, with due regard, why not then expand the vaccine to all those over 20? If there is a huge capacity underutilization, let everyone over the age of 20 be vaccinated if they want to.
Yes, so it looks very attractive. So one thing which has been done, and again, there is a science behind that, that from April 1st, 45-year onward will be offered the vaccine.
Right.
But I must say that 60 years plus, they are not coming because they need support, and somebody from within the family has to facilitate. It is equally important that all people, everybody who gets vaccine should get it at a center where they can be monitored for 60 minutes, 30 minutes, because anaphylaxis occurs. I must tell you that looking at the AEFIs, we must have lost 60 to 80 people if there was no observation from the AEFIs, sir, during last 6-10 weeks.
Sir, can I just have, sir, I'm sorry, I wish we could do this. We will get you back to do a longer program, but I want to ask you this.
Rajdeep, second thing about the vaccines, I was coming around to that.
The options go beyond Covaxin and Covishield.
Yes, so very soon I think we should get, the Sputnik 5 has already submitted the dossier because they have finished their bridging trial. And we hope that in next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, we should be having this also as part of the menu available. And then fourth one is Cadila-Zydus. But I must tell you, the vaccine shortage is not an issue at all. Whatever vaccine is available, I think Dr. Shetty just said he had 2,000 doses, only 600 were picked up.
So the bigger issue is, sir, I've run completely out of time, but the bigger issue is vaccine underutilization. And as you are now saying, Sputnik and Xylus Cadila will soon come into the market, and hopefully with 45 age plus, including people like me now entitled to use the vaccine, many more of us will go and get ourselves vaccinated. Dr. Shetty, Dr. Arora, thank you very much. We will continue to track the country's vaccine policy closely.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.